Oh, can you guys hear me now? Yeah, Christian was on mute. Testing, testing.
On the base.
Can you hear that? Okay. Golly, why is it every time I run the show by myself, we have technical issues? Oh my god, we just wasted a whole 15 minutes this morning. All right, let's do this again. I was over here doing all the technical analysis by myself. Let's do it all over again, guys. Happy Monday. Maybe it's just me still recovering from that Super Bowl situation. I really think that thing was rigged, though. I think that was totally terrible. San Francisco had that game the entire first half and second half, and for some odd reason, everything just started falling apart. I don't think it fell apart. I just think they were all done intentionally. But hey, who am I to be saying all this stuff? All right, guys, let's go straight to technical analysis. We do this every Monday morning, and we are going to be sharing the Bitcoin technical analysis. Let's go back to the daily chart here. And I was discussing earlier on mute while I was busy talking to myself that yes, we have an inverted head and shoulder, an upside down head and shoulder. And usually, when you have that, you have a bullish situation where you have the price going up. But now we've reached a critical resistance level, a resistance area. And basically, what we're trying to figure out now is what's Bitcoin going to do next. When you look at the 1 hour chart, we have some sort of a situation going on here. It's bullish, but not that very bullish. Let's see. Can we say that's a bullish pennant in a way? Bounce out here and maybe it has to basically cross this area. Really, it has to cross the price have to cross above 48,800. So basically 49,000 for us to say that this bullish situation is going to continue. And that is on the 1 hour chart. My friend Creo will say, "Hey, nothing happens in the 1 hour chart, man. You gotta go look at the 1 minute chart, man. 1 minute chart is crazy, man." So far, we're still fighting within a similar situation on the 1 minute chart as well. Each time we've reached a resistance level, we've reached resistance on the 1 minute chart. For those traders, I don't trade Bitcoin, but hey, for those people trying to figure out what's going on with the price of Bitcoin, as we can see the channel, it might probably go back down to 47,900 before we try another attempt upwards. But on the 1 hour chart, though, again, this is for those folks trading coins, trading altcoins, because Bitcoin decides the direction of most of the altcoins. Um, this is still sort of bullish, but we definitely need to break up above 48,800, 49,000 for this bullish continuation to continue. We don't know what's gonna happen. I don't know what's gonna happen. I will just advise that hey, each time it reaches those support levels, accumulate. That's the way I dollar cost average. I just don't buy anytime. I just basically look at the trend, look at the trend lines to find ways for me to buy this wonderful asset cheaper. All right, let's go back. All right, guys, thanks for joining us today again. Sorry for all the technical analysis, but that's our technical situations, but that's our technical analysis for today. Now let's go to today's topic, guys. Today's topic is going to be focused on products oriented economy versus a service oriented economy. And for me, there's a lot to talk about when we talk about that because a lot has been going on in the American economy since the 2000s and the 90s. I think it started maybe earlier in the 80s, where we were converting our at least maybe 40 to 50% of our production of our manufacturing was shipped abroad. And we thought that a service oriented economy was a better thing, which actually boosted the economy temporarily. But majority of that was our tax dollars being shipped abroad and eaten abroad, which a lot of people did not notice. But those of us that pay attention to the economy are noticing no jobs, but the rich are getting richer because now they get to ship their cost of operations abroad, while making the Americans poor. That's something crazy. So we're going to be talking about that today. So we have Bitcoin Shango here saying that as soon as I saw the 49ers miss that extra point, I told my family that's the tell. If they made it, there wouldn't have been any overtime. They would have won. I don't think it intentionally missed that kick though, but the kick was low, and it's unusual for him to kick the ball that low. So yes, I think you're making a great point there. But they had opportunities to have like two touchdowns in the first half. That was madness. Jack Dorsey did come through with the Satoshi T-shirt though, so I kind of like that. That was the only thing I enjoyed on the game. Um, Bitcoin Shango said, "Guess the mafia wanted to try to put on a show. I stopped watching, walked away, and started going doing homework." That's true. I will be doing my homework as well. Actually, I and BK Crypto were going back and forth about the game and about the bet. Unfortunately, though, we had the bet on the BK Crypto Signal channel about how many Bitcoin ETF crypto exchange, anything related to Bitcoin commercial was going to show. And a lot of people thought that we're going to have maybe one to three. Unfortunately, we didn't have any. Somebody said none, but without none, would the price of Bitcoin go to $49,000 or would it dump? It made an attempt, though, a very close attempt to 48,800, but it didn't get up to 49,000. So that member of the group tried really closely, but unfortunately, J Lo actually J Lo was J Lo on the commercials too as well. Yeah, I think she was. Uh, yeah, that was a lot of movie stars in all the commercials, the entire game. Usher coming on. I think that was one of the best things of the show as well. But long story short, though, I just think they were doing their very best to get the viewership of the NFL to go back up, and I think that whole game was kind of set up to make that situation happen. So let's get back to our topic of the day: product or service related economy. Yes, so let's go ahead and talk about this. Bitcoin, for example, allows the autonomy of ownership. It grants individual the control for them to own their assets without maybe the banks or the IRS saying that, hey, you have to pay your fees, or the banks charging you fees for them to hold your value or hold your store of value. Um, and you can own values without people knowing that you own value. Like literally, if you have a big house, everybody knows how big your house is. But if you own Bitcoin and you own 10 Bitcoins, nobody knows how many Bitcoins you have. So you're not literally a target. So people need to start thinking about that. But people are still having that disconnection between why is Bitcoin an asset? How does it become an asset? And what we've been trying to preach or educate people about is that how does an asset become a reality or become an asset? And it's simple as, let's use gold as an example. Gold is supposedly rare. That is not true. For those of us that have lived and been around Asia or African countries, we know gold is plentiful. Go to Ghana, you will see a lot of gold, literally down the street. But yes, because of the rarity of gold and how long it takes for you to get the gold out of the ground, that's where the value of gold comes from. It takes work for you to get access to gold. Similar with oil, you got to dig through the oil, through the ground to get access to that crude oil and then process it. And that's what makes oil expensive. Same thing with data. Data is money because of its collection of a multiple data and then it's then interpreted for it to become a business asset. And that is how Bitcoin becomes an asset as well because it consumes energy, right? Which requires mathematical work. So instead of physical work from human beings, Bitcoin does the calculations with computer programs trying to decipher a cryptography, right? And then once you do that, right, it now gives you a reward, which is now where the satoshis or the bitcoins come from. That is how you create an asset. Similar, it's just that it's now done in the digital space. So instead of you now trying to do a lot of work business wise or in other aspects of life or in other businesses, right? It's literally creating a product that can also not become a service if you decide to do DeFi with it, or if you decide to either loan it out, or if you decide to do other applications with it. So Bitcoin now creates a combination of a product which comes from the consumption of energy, and a service which comes from the use of that energy, that value, either through transactions, DeFi, um, storing data, etc., etc. Bitcoin can also be security, right? So in services, service oriented, like, CrowdStrike could be a service which basically provides security for your server or for your business. Most people will not know what CrowdStrike is, but it's an application out there that provides that service. But with all these softwares out there, McAfee, antivirus, etc., other server-based applications that supposedly protect your servers, we're still getting businesses getting hacked. And what we're trying to say is that actually the sense of security is also provided by the Bitcoin blockchain as well, product oriented, because Bitcoin, through the use of its blocks, right, and through the use of time stamping and confirming each transaction, and through the use of the different nodes, right, and the mining solution, you can actually secure your network. Because once someone attempts to break that network or create a fake version of it, basically gets fucked up. I mean, we call it fuck. By the way, I speak my English, but that's the answer right there. Bitcoin is a service in that aspect as well. In the physical economy, yes, we build softwares that do that as a service. But in Bitcoin, you can use it as a product and as a service at the same time. I know I'm sounding a little bit more technical today, but that's just the way I say it. If you guys have any questions, please go ahead and ask, and I can deep dive a little bit more. All right. So next, let's talk about expression of ownership. Now you saw Jack Dorsey at the Super Bowl. Simple T-shirt, Satoshi, nice little gold chain, simple expression. Hey, I got this. You don't necessarily need a big Lambo, which, yeah, you can get a Lambo and put a plate on it and put a BTC plate on it. That works for you as well. But what we're trying to say here is that it allows you as an individual to own value without necessarily visualizing or having everybody see that you have that value. And in a sense, it's a sense of security that we don't have today. Because usually now, if you have your money in the bank, you got to think about, okay, how much does FDIC secure? I mean, the bank accounts do I have? etc., etc. Or if you have a big house, now you gotta put a security guard around it, or put a fence around it, or you gotta put some security cameras around it. Bitcoin, as long as you have a private key, you're wonderfully good. So yeah, talking about product and services again, I think Bitcoin provides both. It creates that economy, because people are saying, oh, what's the Bitcoin standard? How can you use it? These are examples that I'm giving here, guys. Literally, converting to the Bitcoin standard is everything I'm talking about. All you have to do is just basically take the service oriented part of it, build applications around it. It's more secure. The product oriented aspect of it is the mining and and the nodes, and actually using that product and storing it for yourself, and then deciding if you want to convert that into services, instead of the economy that we live in right now, which we are pushing a lot more towards service oriented and not necessarily doing the work to create those services. So a Bitcoin standard creates for a better America. That's basically what I'm trying to say here. Now, let's talk about economic freedom. Now, there's this conversation about flights of funds away from the United States. I would say they are basically targeting the retail investors, or targeting middle class America, because the flight of funds away from America has been happening way longer than we can imagine. The fact that Apple can create your iPhone for $10 in Asia, in Taiwan, and then sell it to you for $1,000, that's already flights, because they don't get to tax you for those profits in America. They get to keep all those profits and avoid taxes by leaving those businesses abroad. Amazon does the same thing. Microsoft does the same thing with all their business partners in India, etc., etc. So what we're trying to say here is that with a Bitcoin standard, we can actually have an economy that works for Americans in America if those products and services, because majority of the mining is now back in Texas and Colorado. So the production has been done here in America, and the services, the softwares, the applications can be built here in America instead of all this nonsensical legislation that is uh, coming out of Congress and Senate that is literally killing services that Bitcoin can be bringing to America. It's just mad. I don't understand what's going on with these guys. They just don't understand technology. So with Bitcoin, the services stay here in the States. We can spread it around the world without borders. So you wouldn't have to worry about your money leaving the country. It's been produced here, and it could also service your citizens here and abroad. It's that simple. Literally, instead of you worrying about limiting $5,000 or 10,000 transactions that could go out of the borders, just basically create better services, and the solution is there for the Americans. They would use it. You wouldn't have to worry about capital flight. Lastly, a successful government is one that empowers its people. You don't empower your people via providing government assistance. That is just a support layer, supporting you to get off of your foot. But empowerment is ensuring that they can store their value and they can do with their value what they wish. I'll repeat that. Empowerment that the government should be doing is ensuring that people can store their value and do with their value what they wish. It's that simple. Instead of the approach of, oh, we have to limit them, we have to tax them, let's just give them government benefits and just continue to support them. They want you to depend on them. That's never gonna work, because at the end of the day, you can never satisfy that need, that urge to have that sovereign power, to have your sense of ownership. So yes, guys, that is today's topic. Really, Bitcoin allows you to be a product and service oriented economy instead of one or the other. A Bitcoin standard allows for America to avoid capital flight because the production is done here in America and the services through applications can be done here in the States as well. It's that simple. Any comment, guys? All right, guys, you guys are quiet this morning. But yes, that is what I have for you guys today. I think it's been a wonderful show. Enjoy your Monday morning. I hope I did not preach too much today. And yes, have a wonderful week. And I guess congratulations to the Kansas City Chiefs. I guess. All right, people. Thank you. It was nice having you guys here today. And look out for more of our videos on X. Oh, it's not showing. Look out for more of our videos on X, on YouTube. We release them almost every day. We have some wonderful shots. We have one that is super funny right now. We say no go to FOMO, coming to you from Brazen. Use that all the time though. I think it's pretty fun. Yep. Follow us on Stack on X, Stack on YouTube, and StackFin on X, and of course Stackfin on what's it called, Spotify. Thank you guys. Have a wonderful Monday.